Now that I'm up close, I see the class where you be Frankenstein. Such a comical situation, I am thinking reservation since I had the realization, vindication that I'm not crazy. I'm just a sadistic piece of shit. Somehow I just couldn't see. But then I looked it up, everything makes sense, and now I know there's no cure for psycho. Suddenly it seems so damn easy just to let you go. There's no cure for psycho. I've been running so far, so damn loud, preaching about mental health. But the only time you give a fuck is when it affects yourself. You know ya couldn't find a kinder death. Gaslighter, haze value. Striking of the match you might become architect of your own hell. Hell yeah, I looked it up, everything makes sense, and now I know there's no cure for psycho. Suddenly it seems so damn easy just to let you go. There's no cure for psycho. Tried to cut me down to me, I was a love like a prisoner, trapped inside my own home. You tried to kill me dead, but I won't be your ego. Silly pride, God be shopping this for the sequel. Fended off your fatal blow. I told you to get some help, but there's no cure for psycho. Hell yeah, I looked it up, everything makes sense, and now I know there's no cure for psycho. Suddenly it seems so damn easy just to let you go. There's no cure for psycho.
Les gens pensent.
All right, here we go. It's SEO This Week, episode 202. As you can see, no more green screen. Got rid of that. I got a little bit of a mess going on in the background, but I'm going to get that all fixed up. The green screen will be back, but I needed to leverage more of my office. Like I was in the corner because of where my green screen had to be, and in order to use that, I needed to position it, and I was probably using 1/4 of my office for my workspace, and that just wasn't doing it. So got rid of that, flipped the desk around, rearranged some stuff, and then I'm going to put the whatchamacallit, I'm going to put a green screen on one of those projector screens, you know what I mean, the portable thingies you can pull down, you know, the different backgrounds and all that stuff too, because I want to do some more photography stuff and some product photography, etc. So it makes sense to get all that. So there you go. That's how that works out. Plus, everyone's got nice fancy backgrounds in their videos, so I need to pull that in. Terry Samuel's Disney music. I guess if you listen to the words, it's not so Disney-like, but sure. Cure for Psycho is Disney music. All right, we got it. Let's see. Today we are no news. I just looked at all the articles I could find and everything. It's kind of a blah, blah, blah. Core Web Vitals is coming out, blah, blah, blah. Google Search Console is awesome, blah, blah, blah. Build more backlinks. So since that's all kind of the same stuff these days right now, I'm just gonna hold off on doing the news, at least for this episode. Like I said, nothing game changing. There's no real cool ideas that came out. I will say through my conversation with Ted Kubitis over at the Internet Marketing Gold, he was doing a test and he found some information that kind of backs up my hypothesis that Google Search Console is working on a completely different database than the normal search results, which is why you can see quite often Google Search Console report that your page is indexed, and then you go look in the SERPs and it's not there. Now, under the definition of my definition index is it's showing up in the SERPs. Like I search for my URL either with or without quotes, and it's there, right? Ted's definition is a little bit more narrow. It's indexed if it's there, and it's also ranking for a keyword. If it's ranking for the keyword in the top 100 or top 600 results we get to see, then ergo it is indexed. So, but either way, those using either one of those definitions, Ted found that instances of the actual inverse of what I was talking about, i.e. in Search Console but not in the SERPs, and he found that there's some that are in the SERPs, but Search Console's reporting is not indexed. So it's clear that that system is actually two systems. They're designed to talk to each other somewhat. However, I don't think that they are directly connected, so that they are feeding each other accurate information very timely. So what does that mean for us is you can submit to Google Search Console the index. I believe that is going into their system, which is essentially what we all know as caffeine. And once caffeine gets overloaded, like it did last year, midsummer, and indexing went to complete crap, they adapted and they reduced the amount of data that gets pushed through Search Console into caffeine. Ergo, your indexing goes down in the actual real search results. So that's pretty interesting to know that. I think what we would probably want to find out is what Google bought or how the SERP database is built beyond just Search Console integration. I.e., are they looking at crawling and they find your link on a website or whatever, and does Googlebot decide, oh, it's not in the Search Console, wasn't submitted, but we're going to add it to the SERPs because we found it, and then maybe at some point those get synced. That would be interesting to know, but for the most part, I feel pretty validated. For the last couple of years, I've been telling people that those things are two separate, it's two separate databases, and no one seemed to believe me, but I'm right. I guess. So that's kind of cool. Does that devalue Search Console data even more? I don't really think so. I guess it really all depends on what you're looking at it for, right? I use it to analyze backlinks minimally because you have to do several polls to even get the bulk of the list that Google has for you. And even then, it's pretty heavily filtered. I like using it for the impressions data and the query per page data to build keyword lists for specific pages and to build anchor text lists for those same specific pages based off of impressions and where the average CTR is. Average CTR, again, it could say you're number one. You go do a search, you're not even in the top 100. Just keep in mind that it's average CTR for all of the queries that they're showing your page for, and in every location. And if you take into proximity stuff, that could vary quite widely, and that's why you see such a significant difference in your average CTR versus what you're looking for. So that, honestly, it really depends on the scope of your page and what you're trying to do with it. If you're like a near me search type thing and you're leveraging that, your average CTR could be pretty low, but you could be ranking high for those terms in specific areas. So just bounce that around and look at it and just kind of use that data as it is what it is kind of thing. But as for indexing, there's got to be a better way for Google to tell webmasters the accurate thing. But just look at it this way. If it says you're indexed in the Search Console database. If it says you're not indexed in the Search Console database, it might not always mean that you're not indexed in the live search result database. that's kind of a big deal for if you're running big sites too, and we run into that a lot with big sites. 8 million pages. Google will say that half of your pages or 3/4 of your pages are de-indexed, and you do some manual checking, you see that they're actually still there. It does create significant trust issues in tools when that happens, but if you balance out what you're using them for, I think you'll be fine. Okay. As always, I'm going to try to keep the episodes down to 30 minutes. I'll be available for another 30-ish minutes, depending on how things go after that. For questions, if you want to ask questions, just go ahead and drop them in, and I will get to them, regardless if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube. You can see them. As for the live phone thing, there is a cable I have to order. It's the TRRS cable. I mentioned this last week. I went to my music store to get it, because typically those kind of stores would have it, and I wouldn't have to do the Amazon or B&H to get that stuff. And the music store didn't have it, so now I got to order from B&H. It's a $30 cable, which is quite expensive, so it better be good, and it better be the right one. All right. Let's see. So the landing page conversions. I brought that up on how to swipe landing pages last week, and use those for your affiliate offers. So ClickBank, for example, we're going to use ClickBank as an example, but you can certainly do this with more of the higher ended launches, and essentially swipe the landing page, optimize it a little bit, with some tweaks and stuff. We can go into that a little bit today, and then switch the buy now button with your affiliate link in the same way that it would be applied if someone clicked your affiliate link and then went to the offer page. And the benefits of doing this are twofold. Is one, you can actually you have the CRO optimized page depending on the product owners and their quality. You have a CRO optimized page that you can pull, and you know that it's already optimized for sales, right? You know that it's converting high, and then all you got to do is get it to rank high. And two, once you just change that first buy now button, it'll just, if there's any upsells in the offer and all that stuff, all of that affiliate information will get passed through anyway. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. And then you'll just go right through, and you can do some stuff to optimize for keyword variations, i.e. review, bonus, scam, all those kind of words that people search for during big product launches, and then just carry on doing that. If there's an evergreen type product, then you even got something better you can go with, and you can build and optimize and just keep that going for quite some time, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's get, I'm going to get going. We'll just go ahead and jump right into that. I'm going to open up. So you can see I'm on one screen nowadays. All right, so I haven't been in here in forever. So you can see my affiliate commissions. I'm a baller. I make so much money at reset to zero. All right, let's go to Marketplace. We're just going to find something. Log me out. I don't care if you know my nickname. You want to make some offers on my stuff, go for it. Let's see. Okay, let's find an offer, because I was building stuff yesterday. This one's a good one, actually. I don't know if you guys have seen this Ted's woodworking offer. Initial sale conversion 64.84. Recurring rebill. I don't even think there's a rebill on that offer. I actually bought this product. Let's see. Let's look at this affiliate page. Yeah, I bought this one. And this is really, it's a download. That's honestly what it is. It's a download. of like 16,000 just different plans, and it's the worst delivery ever. But this thing still does really good. So let's just use that one. Nickname, generate our hop links. And it's there. So now I'm going to go to the page. And it's got that new video sales letter.
A graph. And
That's nice of them. Turn the video on top. Where is the buy button? Order now. There we go. And this is the link that we really need. I want to scroll. I'm going to look and see. I doubt you guys could see it, but I'm looking for my affiliate ID in this long ass string. And it looks like it's probably encrypted into that list, which is okay. I'll go back. There we go. Add to cart. Yeah, it's encrypted in there. So we really want to make sure that this is the same. So when I click on this, yeah, it is the same. I need to find, there it is. ClickBank forwarding ID. That's what you want. Okay. So we know that's right. Actually, I should just open a new tab. And now I want to grab this page. And you can do this a couple ways. You can actually just go into view source. Control A, copy all, drop it into Dreamweaver. Control A, Control V. And you can see that's there. And obviously you'll have to format some stuff. All right. I think most of this is probably just blocking me because of the way that I copied it. But there's another way to do it. And if you're on a Mac, you can use this tool. It's called Site Sucker. You don't necessarily have to be on a Mac, though. I think there's a couple options out there for your Windows guys and gals. Site Sucker in there. And it's downloading all the images and everything. And it's built on Thrive. Hopefully they updated their Thrive and it didn't get hacked in the background. I cleaned up a few Thrive sites recently from that background, from that hack. Essentially, they were getting in through it's the Thrive page builder or content editor and the Thrive leads. There's something in the files that allowed them to get in. And then once they are in, they could add stuff to your server base or your whatchamacallit, what the hell am I looking for? The term in my head. Your server, and get into your server and really cause quite a hubbub. So here's this HTML. We're just going to open it to see if it's the same. There we go. It is. This is their main sales page for the offers. Not the one we are looking for. We want the video. New, what is it? New VSL. That's what we're looking for. VSL. Make sure we get the right one. And there we go. Got everything we need. All the images are there. All of this, if you use SiteSucker, it makes this a whole lot easier because you see the copy paste version, it screws up a lot of the images and stuff just because of the way that pumps out, right? So I'm not going to save that. I'm going to go here and I'll open in Dreamweaver. And there you go. Everything works. It'll take its time because it's got a lot to load in there. That's one of the downsides of Dreamweaver. When it's got a lot to load, it kind of takes some time. And you see all these scripts and stuff. That's what I was all trying to load. And when I did that page source, and it just wasn't loading right because I didn't have access to those files. You don't really have to worry about that, though, if you do this yourself, because you don't want to change some of the referencing things, like where the images are hosted and all that stuff. As long as they allow offsite image hosting, you're going to be just fine doing this. It'll pull those in from their domains, and all you really got to change is the buy button. I'm waiting for this to catch up. While it does that, any questions so far? Alex Rule says HT Track, TRACK for PC, if you want to use that. Alrighty. But you can pretty much do this. You can do this with anything. As long as it's got a sales page, you can do it. Let's see if we can find another one. That one's a little bit rough. I want to rank by average sales. There's another one. Dog Training World by K91. Average sale, $163. That's a lot. Here's another one. 75 locksmithing secrets. Woodworking and locksmithing. That's odd. Let's see what that one is. Auto locksmithing business. I was in the MP in the Army, man. We could break into cars pretty quick. All you need is a Slim Jim and a little bit of practice. This is actually making keys. That's kind of cool. That's a cool little side business if you want to do that. Order now. Let's see where that goes. Just checking these buttons. See if they all go to the same place. It does. It's a sales and CB items. Checking to see if the ID is the same in here. Man, this one's forever. Referral ID, FB, blah, 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 blah. It's all encoded. So you can't steal each other's stuff. Let's see. I think I should be able to get this one too. Should be fine. Let's see if we can do it in here. Can we move around on this page yet? I think I broke Dreamweaver. Oh, come on. Yep, I broke it. I don't normally have problems, but today I've been I'm having a couple issues. I think it might be the latest update. That's not what I need. I need this. There we go. Just kind of force refresh that a little bit. Yeah, this one was better than the first one. See, everything's over here. This tells me that you can use the images. Remember talking about being able to use images across from someone else's domain, right? So there is a way that you can stop that. So in case you're getting a lot of server load and people are using your images, and you can actually stop that so that they can only be displayed on yours, and you can mess around with those a little bit. This is a perfect example of when you don't have to. Now we want to go here. Here's our buy button. Order now. And there's our link right there. And this is the link we want to change. So we go in here. I'm going to click this to get all that encoding. And then I'm going to come back here. And drop it in. And I'll go direct. Okay. And then I want to save this as. Just put in my junky downloads folder here. Oh, which one is this? This is Locksmith. See. Okay. I'm going to go here. Documents. Turn this off for a second. Testing HTML docs. Close. Locksmith. Open. Share screen. There's a page. And I just opened it out of the file thing. I didn't upload it on a domain or anything. I gotta remember which button we changed. There it is. Boom. The code is there. I want to go to the end because that's where the ID was. And then I want to check this one. End. 54C6 add 3. 54C6 add 3. So it's the same. So our referral ID is good. And now we have their web page, right? So we've copied this page. Now, what do we do with this? So you can leave this all the way it is if you want to. Honestly, if it's a high converting page, why mess with it? I would actually go look and see what is missing from here, and you might have some things to clean up. But I think that's just kind of a big hero section, which is totally fine. And then you can go down here in this earnings disclaimer area, and you can add, if you want to, if you're into this sort of thing, you can add some keywords. I'm going to go over here. This will be easier. put this right here so you can see it. And then I'm going to go. Oh, come on. P. And what's the name of this product? Online locksmith course. Online auto locksmith course. So we can go online auto locksmith course. And then I'm going to save this because we're going to do this. Review. Best top and then I want to do review. Oops. Make sure it's clear that I'm doing a review. Is there any doubt? I need to fix that space. Alright, so there we go. Because I'm greedy. I'm going to do one more. And then I need to look up this code. Display none HTML. Document. Oh, I need that. I need the other one. It's probably going to be the CSS one I'm looking for. There we go. Let's go. I'm going to try it myself. That's not the one I want. Ignore the phone. I am. Trying to find it. It's I don't want to do it like it has in that example because I just want that one paragraph. I don't want to do a style. You know what I mean? I just want that one paragraph. Because this is a style, so if I'm adding that style, it'll do it. I want to do display none. Display style. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Stack Overflow to the rescue. Where is the example? Come on, guys. There you go. That's what I want. Right there. And I'm going to put that right there. Right. That should hide it. It just refresh. So drag this thing all the way to the bottom. Let's go, Wilbur. you go. Come on. There you go. It's gone. And the click ink. There is something going on over here that I don't see, but I don't really care for the purpose of this demo. We're not promoting this offer. So let's open it. It's gone. Look in the source. Bottom. And there it all is right there. Perfect. It's in the HTML. Google will find it. Okay, so what I just showed you is actually a violation of the Google Terms of Service. So use that as at your own caution. I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, the Google bot, well, pretty much never, the Google bot won't find that. They'll actually read it. It'll count towards your page and stuff. Those sections may or may not index or rank for a term that's inside of those. But for the most part, Google reads that stuff, and it does apply towards the rest of your website and your rankings, right? So, but use that as in caution. You don't want to actually go and leverage that on a money site without being aware of what can happen if someone finds it. So, and most people or anyone that does find it will typically, it's just the narc SEO who goes out and instead of actually ranking a website, they go and find all the things that are wrong with the client's websites or the competition websites and then reports those to Google. That's the narc SEO method. And that is how a lot of that hidden stuff gets caught. But just don't get greedy with it, and you're going to be just fine. You just want to bump up the keyword density just a little bit, and then you can actually build some anchors towards those other keywords and leverage that pretty well. All right, and that's it. That's how you take affiliate offer landing pages and use them for your own. Couple quick points. Remember, not all of those affiliate offers or landing pages allow you to use their images on their hosting. So you have to be cognizant of that. You saw a good example in the first offer that we tried to do. We put it into Dreamweaver and it didn't pull that stuff in. And then when we downloaded everything, it all worked. So that just means that host or the people that own that product are not allowing people to use their images on the other domains to keep down server resources. Totally fine if you run into that and you really want to copy that offer. Just download it with SiteSucker or HTT Track for PC, and you're just going to have to know that you got to upload all of those resources that page is using in order to leverage this trick. You will save tons of time using this, building landers for your affiliate business if you're doing affiliate stuff, and it's already pre-optimized for conversions. Now all you got to do is just insert the necessary text to rank for things like the reviews and buy now and that kind of stuff. You get that in there, optimize it a little bit. You can even just throw it down there where we did in hidden. You don't even have to hide it if you don't want to, and just go from offer to offer and offer and build out essentially niche sites with nothing but landing pages for similar offers, which I think is it's a really cool way to get through that process. So I hope you find that useful. We're going to move on to the Q&A part. I'm going to throw some music on. If you guys don't have any questions, after a little bit, I probably will shut everything down. I got some stuff to do anyway. So with that, I thank all of you for watching. in case you all have to bounce the 30-minute mark. And I appreciate your time. All right. So one question from the YouTubes. It's from Elton. Have you seen any changes on the rich snippets the last few days? A lot of my pages had stars on the SERPs, and the stars are gone now. Is an update coming or something else? Well, you have a hard time judging updates based off of whether snippets show or not. That's a Google algorithm user thing. They show and then they don't. They move them and then they don't. And they're trying to actually do CTR testing. So when you see significant changes in things like the stars or displaying phone numbers or site links, that's all CTR testing in the wild. There's just because you have that schema, as everyone knows, just because you have it doesn't necessarily mean they have to show it. And typically, if you see that bounce, it just means they've tested a CTR or they are testing CTR to see if they are using those things are worthwhile or not. And that's typically how that happens. The other thing is featured snippets. They had a glint there. Was it a couple of weeks back where they dropped a whole bunch and now they're all starting to come back. And that again is CTR and index passaging and all that stuff just kind of picking in at the same time. Jeff Meekin, any tips or resources on getting started with SEO testing? It's kind of a loaded question because I own SEO Intelligence Agency and we do SEO testing. Another source that I know of is Internet Marketing Gold. That's Ted Kobitis and Kyle Roof. And they have people that do SEO testing for them and their members. But if you want to do it yourself, you really got to figure out which of the three types of tests you want to do or if you want to do all three. Right. So the first one is single variable testing. Typically how you do that is fake keywords. And you're testing one thing and one thing only to see if it's a ranking factor or not. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what single variable testing is going to get you. Is it a ranking factor or is it not? And in that, you could test it on the usually 10 test page model. And then that one test says yes or no, it's a ranking factor. And then you build on that and you actually do 10 tests and see is it a ranking factor consistently? Is it always a ranking factor? And if it's always a ranking factor, then you can move on to leaderboards where you're testing factors against each other to see which one is stronger, which one is worse. So that's how we know title tag, URL, H1, and bold, for example, or in content is the primary ranking factors, the big five. So if you got all those things down, you reach the big five, right? So title tag, headers, in content, I forget the other two, URL, and then there's one more. I can't remember right now. So you take those and you combine them, intermix them, and now you're testing multivariable testing, which basically means which combination of these factors can I get the biggest bang for my buck, and that's what multivariable testing is going to tell you. And then you have live testing, where you're actually competing against other people that are doing things that you can't control, you don't know, and then you have to add other factors or consider other factors when you're doing your stuff, i.e. if you're on a e-commerce site and you change a quarter of your title tags, or you change the position of or the way you're handling your H tags, that kind of stuff is in the wild testing, is what I call it. And that's a little bit more convoluted. And it's really, really at the end of the day, those are the ones that are really, this is a per site thing. And just because it worked for your website doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for Christopher's website or Elton's website. And maybe Elton and Jeff get the exact same thing, and then Christopher and Alex go and test it, and it tanks their website. And that's why a lot of courses and stuff fail too, is because they fail to mention that Google ranks web pages and they treat each thing individually, and there's this combination of stuff that hits and it's different. So that's why SEO testing is exciting, and it's also why there's so many people who say I tested, and you have to understand the way that they test. Matt Diggity, he tests in the wild, right? So he's testing this thing, PBN links, for example, because he's known for PBN stuff. He's testing PBNs in an affiliate offer in a specific niche, and this is what he got from those PBNs in this affiliate offer in this specific niche. You as a buyer say, hey, Matt Diggity, I want to buy the same links you did, and I'm going to put it in for my affiliate offer, but you do it as a different niche, you might not necessarily see the same result. So you just got to clarify that the difference in the test and what you actually did. So if you're looking to get on yourself and actually start doing that kind of stuff, SEO Intelligence Agency, we bring on people. We teach you how to test, and then we pay you $100 for each one of your tests. And you can come join that group. You get access to our Trello board and all the tests and the test ideas that we want and all that stuff. And you could do that, or you just go do it on your own. I will say it gets really tedious and boring when you're doing SEO testing on your own, especially with the lack of tools that allow ease of use to set up testing sites and stuff like that. And being in a community of people who are legit testing is way better. You get more ideas, more creative uses flowing, and stuff like that. The downside of that is, depending on the core group of testers you're testing, either you have testers that do stuff that the regular business owner is going to do to their website or standard SEO, or you have people that are testing stuff on an academic level and don't really appreciate that people want that information and are working to increase their rankings. And as such, but so what? Why do I want to rank? A lot of that's missing out of SEO testing stuff too. So that's how that is. Okay, next question, Christopher. How do you tell if your page is failing to rank better because of a content issue versus lack of backlinks? For me, I'm running a phase. I'll put the content as it is inside of Phrase, see where it's at. Then I'll put it inside of Surfer, see where it's at. And then I'll put it inside of InLinks and see where it's at. And if those numbers are below my own parameters, which is 100 for Phrase, 75 for Surfer, and 85 for InLinks, then I probably have a content issue, and I can update the content and do that a little bit better. And then the other way to do that is just it's your knowledge in the market. So if you're in real estate, for example, one, you probably have a content issue because everyone is using the same listing descriptions for the listings. And two, you have a backlinks issue because it's really competitive in order to get up, because you got to beat the home and the realtors and the Zillows and all that other stuff, right? So it's a combination of two, experience and just knowing, using the tools to leverage and figure that out. Vinay, what is your go-to on-page optimization tool? Pops or Quora? It's always been Quora. Surfer, I don't use the tools for on-page optimization at all. I just use the content editor. And Pop, I canceled my subscription to. I don't use that at all either. And it's not a discount on Pop. It's not a discount on Surfer. I just think that my basic on-page SEO, these are all the stuff that I know I have to do. I don't need a tool to tell me all that crap. I'm writing my contents in outline format. I know that I got to put my keywords in the headers. I know I got to put variations in the headers. I know I got to add entities and LSI terms or TDIF, whatever term you want to use in your head. I know I got to add that to my content, so I don't need Pop and Surfer to tell me all that stuff, right? And then I use Quora Lite first. Maybe there's some things that I miss, but more often than not, I'm finding that with my writing process, the on-page stuff is pretty much handled, short of inserting some labels and CSS tags and imagery and all that stuff. So, and then I go use Quora to analyze the types of backlinks and the numbers of backlinks that I need, and then I'm off to the races. So it's amazing how much a good writing process eliminates 99% of that work from an on-page perspective for you. Elton Musa, I'm doing some tests on my own, but can't seem to index test pages. I'm publishing the pages and requesting anything else I should be doing. Wait for them to index by themselves. If you're in SIA, I taught a indexing method to get around that. I'm not giving that for free because I don't want it to get ruined. But if you want to leverage the power of that method that I taught everybody in SIA, then just sign up for Omega Indexer. That's from the guys from SEO Autopilot. We tested that, independent tester, 94% indexing rate after 3 days, as I think what he got out of it. And you can't beat that. It's really good. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive because it's on a per credit basis, but I know the background. I know the systems that they're using behind it, and it would be just as expensive, if not more, for you to be doing what they've pulled off, right? Because I gave them the method and they automated it and made it so it's scalable. So I would just go that route. The other thing is filtering, and what I mean by that is we set up test pages, and let's say you have one domain, and then you build 10 test pages for the same fake keyword in that one domain. Google will index all 10, and now it's going back and filtering and removing on average 7 of them from the index completely because it's a keyword cannibalization thing now. And so that didn't used to be there, or it wasn't as sensitive. I am noticing it differently, like .coms versus .net versus .info domains, but I haven't tested and monitored that completely yet. So take that idea with a grain of salt. But for sure, the .coms are stupid sensitive to the keyword cannibalization, and that update like 2 years ago where Google said, we're not going to show multiple pages from the same domain for the same keyword anymore. That wasn't really affecting single variable testing. And now it's definitely there. So that could be another one of your issues. So what I do now is 10 domains, 1 test page per domain, and that eliminates the filter and allows you to test in a single keyword. It makes it significantly harder to do 10 tests simultaneously, though. And it's only because the way you got to build that test, right? So you build that test once, take some time, and then you got to do it again on 10 different domains, 10 pages, 10 times. So what is that? The math, like 100 pages you're building on 10 separate test keywords on 10 separate domains. It makes it a pain, but the knowledge is worth it, especially if it's a golden goose kind of test. This little thing, for example, way back when HTML updated and went from bold to strong, not everyone was employing it yet. And Google's bot was actually using strong as this is the emphasis of this page, right? Versus bold. And then everyone started updating the standard, and Googlebot is now, bold or strong, we don't care. It doesn't really matter. Use one of them. We're not going to give you any benefit from it because it's expected. You should be using it. However, if you look in the search results under bold and you see those variations that are bolded, they're actually using EM or emphasis now. So we have to test bold, strong, and emphasis against each other and see which one we should be using. And when Strong was the one. It was pretty powerful. It was a pretty powerful boost. Like you can just go in there and strong your keyword a couple times and go up like 5-10 positions. And maybe EM now will have similar effect. That's a really it's a reach for sure, because EM has been around for quite some time. So emphasis, but we'll see how the Googlebot is handling now, because it's not the standard thing. You know what I mean? You can't push bold and get EM in your system. So that's kind of how that works. All right, guys. 8 minutes and then it'll be the hour. So I'm gonna leave you with some more music. And again, if you have any questions, I'll jump back in and be glad to answer them.
Le temps est une simple progression de cause à effet. Mais en vérité, d'un point de vue non linéaire, d'un point de vue non subjectif, c'est plutôt une sorte d'énorme boule où le temps s'enchevêtre comme un mini-mélo et très complexe.
I'm always here and there. Whoa. I fear of missing out, and hate what I've become. And I'm torn. A handshake, a smile, yeah, the blink of an eye. Everything that can change a life in a minute. Ooh, probabilities, which way is made for me? Don't know who I wanna be. I'm always here and there. Oh, victory of a fear. I don't wanna waste all my years. I'm just getting older, every minute. Ooh, it's a plan, it's a fast. There's nothing I can do about it. Time to roll the dice. Under my skin, under my skin. Solo temps qui défile et je vacille. Under my skin, under my skin. J'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. I need to stop running from the hourglass. I can't be part of everything. And I need to leave all the trouble behind. J'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. J'entends l'horloge qui victory of a fear. I don't wanna waste all my years. I'm just getting older every minute. Ooh, it's a burn, it's a fast. There's nothing I can do about it. Time to roll the dice. Under my skin, under my skin. Sur le temps qui défile et je vacille. Under my skin, under my skin. J'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. I need to stop running from the hourglass. I can't be part of everything. And I need to leave all the trouble behind. J'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie.
Dance with me under the diamonds. See me like breath in the cold. Sleep with me here in the silence. Come kiss me silver and gold. You say that I won't lose you, but you can't predict the future. So just hold on like you will never let go. Yeah, if you ever move on without me, I need to make sure you know that you're the only one I'll ever love. Yeah, you
Elton, so in case you guys are watching or somewhere else, basically Elton was asking about indexers and the effect that indexers that build links to your page have on your testing. It would be irresponsible to say that they have no effect, because if they're indexing your page, they count for something, right? So what you can do is, if you know the indexer is building links to you, or you're just not sure if that indexer is building links to your test pages, wait out the period. So you have a test page that you're making, or a set of test pages you're making today. You get them in, you put them in the indexer, you get them all indexed, and then wait like 3 weeks before you even use the test set. So all the link juice and all that stuff is all done and settled through, and it's going to affect the pages in any way that it is during that time period. And then it's going to settle. And when it settles, it'll sit and all your pages will be steady in your rank trackers. You'll see it. There won't be any more bouncing, or they'll be bouncing from the random ranking variables and stuff, but it won't be like significant. Once that's all done, that's when you can apply your factor that you're testing to the actual test page. As a general rule, like Ted Kubitis, as far as I understand, he doesn't even use he uses Search Console, and he keeps submitting over and over until his test pages are in. I'm not sure about anyone else. I recommended Omega a long time ago because I know the process and I know they're not building backlinks. And so it's just, for me, it just makes more sense to use Omega. But we also use Speedlinks. Again, we reached out to them. We know they're building backlinks, and we just it just takes longer to test. So, if you're in SIA, for example, the test that you see in April, we're thinking about building test pages in January. So we got to be 2 months ahead for that product, and for our test, for that matter, when we're using Speedlinks. But when I'm doing tests on my own for SIA, I build them with Omega, and I can start them now, and they'll be ready to publish the results at the end of the month, because I know they're not building backlinks, so I don't have to wait for that thing to come in. So hopefully, if you're reading that conversation and wondering what the heck I was talking about, that was it. See the contest in SEO Signals Lab about content versus links. Which one do you think will win? I think it'll be the person that's cheating and that does both. The content guy, that'll settle in for sure, depending on how they optimize their content. That'll settle in, and that'll do pretty well at the get-go. And then the links guy has to have content, right? So where are they going to get their content from? My guess is they're going to optimize it using probably the same tools, because that crowd is that's a big surfer SEO crowd. They'll optimize their content in Surfer and then build links to it. And essentially, that's kind of the cheat, because they got to optimize their content. They're going to optimize their content. They're going to build links to it. They're not going to put some junk and just put links to it, right? It's going to be optimized. So I would expect that the links guy let's see, on Craig's stream a couple of days ago, you said you could tank a site by duping your content on a site, putting on other domains and linking back. Maybe I understand you, but isn't this what IFTT does? That's exactly what IFTT does, if you set it up that way. If your RSS feed is designed to pull from the excerpt of your post, then it's not putting duplicate content. But if you are setting your RSS feed up to do the whole paragraph, first paragraph, not that bad. But if you're doing it to do your whole content, then that's bad. And we just tested that and published that test to verify that indeed it is actually not helping to do full syndication. So you might want to stop. And that's always been my experience with the IFTTT stuff. I love that method. I like using it, but I've never allowed it to do full syndication. It's just dumb. I just do all the content and mention this. You should probably stop. Yep, you should stop. And if you're doing it to, I won't say it publicly. I didn't ready. Say it publicly. There is a Web 2.0 property that is a standard in that IFTT training. It starts with a B, and if you're using that, just stop. Stop using that site altogether. As a matter of fact, go delete those blogs if you want to, or disavow those subdomains, but stop using that site altogether. And I got testing to prove it. I'll document all that stuff, and we'll actually post it publicly when I have the last final 5 tests going. So we're like 15 tests into that now, different variations, etc. I know there's some people that are building tools around that particular blog, and I can tell you right now, you are hurting your websites. So stop.
You are a fire burning up while I pretend I'm getting high. You crash into my veins till I go. Suffocate my brain till I fall. Oh, we are the drugs, and we're the chemicals holding on to us. We'll never get enough. Drown me out now, count back from 10. We're both going under in this craving, like I depend on your so-called medicine. Crash into my veins till I go. Suffocate my brain till I fall. Oh, we are the drugs, and we're the chemicals holding on to us. Suffocate. Oh, we are the drugs. We'll never get enough. We'll never get enough. You crash into my veins till I go. Till I go. Oh, we are the drugs, and we're the chemicals holding on to us. I'm suffocating. We're suffocating. We're suffocating. Oh, we are the drugs. We'll never get enough.
let's resume it. Maybe on the night we can prove it. We can prove it. Baby, we can do it. Issues that we have, let's get through it. We were so good, let's resume it. Maybe on the night we can prove it. Something's weighing heavy. Created too much pressure, this ain't healthy. We were all good, love was plenty. Now look at the cards, love has stopped me. Love has stopped me. Baby, we can do it. Issues that we have, let's get through it. We were so good, let's resume it. Maybe on the night we can prove it. We can prove it. We were so good, let's resume it. Maybe on the night we can prove it.
Christopher, we just checked that. Oh man, what were the results? Let me look at it. I just posted that. Tested it, the presence of Google Analytics, the boost or not, the differentiator or not. And I believe that it was. Let me see. There it is. Right on top. Convenient. Yeah, it was a differentiator. So we had the 10 test pages, same standard setup. Originally it didn't do anything. The test page didn't move, kind of sat there for quite some time, and then a month later it moved up into the number 1 position, and it's still there, still in the number 1 position. So that's 10 test pages. One had Google Analytics, and then the rest didn't, and the one with Google Analytics went to the number 1 position. Hopefully that's better. Getting old. You are getting old, Christopher. So yeah, having Google Analytics is it's a contributing factor to ranking in the rest of the stuff. So yeah. Now, how important is that versus the rest of your things? I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's probably one of those low hanging minimal fruits kind of thing. So would it hurt you to not have it? I mean, I don't think so. When compared to backlinking and content optimization and all that stuff, I think it would be the lowest possible thing on the totem pole. It's certainly not going to bring you from 4 to 3 kind of thing. Yeah, I didn't even. I haven't made any changes to my analytics, but I'm not in the UK. I do have Get Clicky analytics on my websites as a liar test, and I notice some differences between the two sometimes, but it's not like horrible different. So if you're looking at that, and you can still use that under the GDRP over there in the UK and Europe, check out Get Clicky and see if you get a little bit more. Unfortunately, I think that GDRP has kind of made things a little bit harder. And it's really, at the end of the day, you don't need, having demographics would be great. From your analytics, like where's the traffic coming from and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, your decision making is going to be off of the demographics of your buyers, and you're going to get that in much better ways using than cookie data from GDRP, etc. So I think it'll really hurt people that are tracking like in the weed stuff in their ads. Like you really stupid narrow in your ads and your audience, and that'll mess up some things. But at the end of the day, I think people will adapt to it and just figure out new ways to do it. And then it's actually another opportunity to talk to your audience. So you get all your conversions, and then you build a list, and then you get all that information from without Google Analytics, and it's probably gonna be more accurate and more valuable to you anyway. Yeah, events and goals, creating conversions, ads. Yeah. Probably don't need. Like if you're tracking, do you really need cookies to track? They clicked on the button. You know what I mean? Like they clicked on your buy button. That's not necessarily. It's a conversion for the page. That you got visitor that clicked the buy button. There's a goal. You met that goal. The target page for that goal is the cart. And then you have another one where the target page is for that goal is actually the to the thank you page. And I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably don't need a cookie to set that to set a cookie to follow that user flow, because Google's doing it IP based, right? So yeah, there's got to be some workarounds where you can still get at least some of that. But I would balance. Look at your traffic versus sales, and you could probably do the math without the tools. Anyway, but the conversion and optimization, yeah, it's going to be a pain, I'm sure. Look it up. Civic Switch. I never heard of that. Civic Switch. On the Civic Switch. Switch plugin. Switch. Yeah, there it is. Civic Cookie Control. Community Edition, Pro Edition, Multi-Site Edition. Provides all the core functionality of cookie control and is of course GDRP compliant. You can use it to test cookie control if you don't have blah blah blah. You need to attain an API key. Cookie audit. Getting ready.
Get out of your head. Don't run from the fear of your expectations. Hey,
There's a GA. It's got a script. Universal Analytics. It's interesting. Does California have similar laws to GDRP? Not entirely sure. I don't pay attention to California law. I don't own a business in there. I don't operate in there. I don't have any clients in California. It's a great big market, but unfortunately, with the tax rules of California, etc., if I can get away with not ever giving another penny to the state of California, I'll be just fine with that. So I don't actively market over there. CCPA. Cross domain, cross. Really, if you read the California Consumer Privacy Act, it says the right to know about personal information that collects about you and how it's used. So, if you were, let's say you're a client at Digitaleer, and I collect, name, address, your phone number, and your email. You have a right to know that I'm collecting that and what I'm doing with it, i.e. servicing you in your account. The right to delete personal information that is collected from them. A right to opt out of sales of personal information. A right to non-discrimination. Honestly, that's all cool, but how do they enforce it, on a website like Facebook, right? If I'm on Facebook, let's say I do a tweet on Twitter, for example, and I want it all deleted, can I use CCPA to force Twitter to delete all those tweets and any record thereof of them, because it's personal information? Or I may see that those tweets as personal information. So under this law, does Twitter have to do it? And if so, how are they going to enforce it? Let's see, what is considered personal information? That identifies, relates to, or can reasonably be linked to you or a household. So, records of product purchased, internet browsing history, geolocation, fingerprints, and inferences of personal information that could create a profile of your preferences. So, retargeting and stuff, if you wanted to, you should be able to opt out of retargeting, is essentially what this is saying. This is dumb. This is dumb liberal crap. This privacy stuff. Honestly, there is no privacy in today's land. If you can get on Facebook and talk about how many times you ate at a specific restaurant and how many times you pooped, and the meaning of life as you see it, and you're on there and fine, and then you talk about privacy and how advertisers shouldn't be able to link to you, then you're an idiot. You're putting all that stuff out there. You're just mad because they retargeted you because they're selling you an anti-dumbass pill. Facebook marketing is turning to third-party cookie blocking and screwed up tracking pixel. It's third-party cookie blocking. It screwed up the tracking pixel, and then Apple screwed up the tracking pixels, and that's fine. People just don't want to be retargeted to, right? So. It makes it a little bit harder, and it challenges you to write better copy for your ads versus narrowing the interest down significantly, like what they're doing. And in my opinion, the Facebook ad prices will benefit Facebook from doing that, because you're making it harder for you to narrow down where you're going. You make it harder for retargeting, so you have to do a better job and do more testing and do more ads to narrow down your markets. And then you're going to need something to track conversions, which changes that too, right? So it's going to cost you more. It's going to be a benefit to Facebook. They're pissed off about it because they're a lot of their big spenders will spend less for a little while, but ultimately they'll come right back to Facebook because that's where the money's at. That's where the buyers are. And these Facebook guys, they're not dumb. They'll figure a way around it. It'll be a matter of time.
Losing myself in the sunset, thinking about you and I. Seeing the place where we both met, wishing that you stopped by. Turning away from the seaside, I can't believe my eyes. Holding my breath for a moment, seeing you by my side. And watching you leave this place, you come and you go like the ocean wave. But I'm keeping you on my mind, 'cause all of the memories that make me smile. Hold on, I'm drowning in feelings I can't seem to hold back. Hold on, I'm craving for you, craving for you. Hold on, feel like a wave in the storm on the ocean. Hold on tight, 'cause I'm crashing into you.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before they fix that and make it more useful.
They locked me away. I've been told to stay inside, so I'll never see daylight. Don't try to escape. I be wasting my life, wasting my mind, been setting it on fire. Down on the ground, been bleeding out. Now my time is up, but I been held up a long time, been praying all night. I'm dying, I'm coming alive. You want me to find this spot they locked up inside my mind, so I'll never die. In your eyes, forever alive. I be wasting my life, wasting my mind, been setting it on fire. Down on the ground, been bleeding out. Now my time is up, but I been held up a long time, been praying all night. While I'm dying, I'm coming alive. I spend my soul
opened up. I've been trying hard to fight it, can't let go. Is it too much to ask to keep this control? I've been on my last nerve, I falter with every pause. Always look forward to flight, so I can retreat. It's easier if I just leave. Won't let myself fall. Take me back, won't you try to take me back now to who I was before him. Now I hold back, never wanna check facts. Going deep but I can't swim. Could I be saved by you? Could I be? Could I be? Could I be saved by you? Could I be? Could I be? Slipping through my fingertips, everything they used to be. But I need to move past that, fall and never look back. Maybe I could be, maybe I could be, maybe I could. I can't help but rewind those colored memories on my mind. Maybe if I focus, there's no way that he cannot notice the absence in my eyes. As I try not to falter with every touch. Did I just say too much? But you're still here though, I try not to push you away. You still want me to stay. Could I be saved by you? Could I be? Could I be? Could I be saved by you? Maybe I could be, maybe I could be. Slipping through my fingertips, everything they used to be. But I need to move past that, fall and never look back. Maybe I could be, maybe I could be, maybe I could. Maybe I could be, maybe I could be, maybe I could.
Hey, Elton. Yeah, that's basically the guidelines for that is at least one test a month from you, and the reason is you're going to get access to our Trello board that has all of our tests on it. So it's essentially a free membership to SIA. Plus, you're in a Skype group with all the other testers and stuff. So it's not just the 100 that you're getting, right? So you sign up, and then if you need help, you've never done testing before or stuff, we'll kind of walk you through that, show you that process, and then we can give you like some ideas for testing. But if you have your own ideas for testing, that works great too. Or if you just want to retest all of our old stuff, it's totally up to you. Duplicate the old test and see, does it still matter, which is really still valuable at this time, and it's probably been continuing to be valuable and will for the foreseeable future. So you could, you're not totally left out there to think up test ideas on your own, is basically what I'm trying to say. And then if your test is used and published, so you did a test in April, and at the end of April, I add your test to the dossier. then you'll get $100 for that test. There's really no limit on the number of tests that you can do in a month. Like if you want to do 50 tests, then do 50 tests. But just know that we probably won't publish all 50 in that 1 month, right? So it's just based off of what we actually publish. And then if we save, like if we publish 30 and save another 20 for next month, then that's how you'll get paid for that way. I'm balancing a couple ideas with that testing thing. So if that's something that you guys want to do right now, would probably be a good time to get into it. Because in the future, we're probably going to create an internship program for marketing schools and computer science seekers. And we've just got to find out the way that we can run the internship program so that when they're doing the tests as part of their internships, they actually get credit for it. And it's of value to them as much as it would be a value to us. We want to make sure that it's fair to the interns. And so I'm still doing the research on that to make sure that that's right. And once that's done, then we'll probably end our invite of testers from within the SEO community. It's just because the people that were in there before are inconsistent, like grossly inconsistent. And then when you kick them out for being grossly inconsistent, they get all pissed off at you and act like you're the one that did something wrong. And especially when we're only asking for one test a month. And we're giving you the keys of the kingdom. We ask for one test, and then you don't do the one test, and then you get pissed off because we kicked you out. We'll be eliminating all of that drama for our brand by taking on interns instead of begging and pleading people to do tests for us. I mean, I could do them. We have the team. We got like 15 people in SIA now. We can do the tests. And we could feed you exactly what we think you want. But when you have third-party people come in and they consider new ideas and stuff, it adds to the new lifeblood of the program, right? And we're not unique to having those issues. Internet Marketing Gold's having the same issues. Just finding people that want to commit and do that stuff. And their commitment is 2 tests within a 3-month period or a 6-month period. I think it's 6 months, which is way less than ours. They pay $75 a test, and if you get the winning test of that month, you get a $400 off of that. I submit tests to IMG every once in a while, and I've gone past that beyond 6 months, and they've kicked me out of their testing group before too. So, and I didn't go blast IMG all over the internet about how mean they were. I just accepted that I didn't live up to my agreements, right? So we're eliminating all that drama by doing the internship idea. And, I just have to do a little bit more research, and then we'll be reaching out to schools and making sure that we meet the requirements so that the students can get credit, college credit, for what they do with us. Once that's done, it'll be game on. We'll be doing pretty good.